such a big part, I think, of a career. And it's something that people don't think about that much, but it's the arc of a career, meaning you want to make sure that you're pushing yourself and you're trying different things and that different chapters have a different feel and are testing you in different ways. That's something I've always thought about is, I remember, I don't know why, but when I was unemployed and in my early 20s, my writing partner and I got a job right away, and then it went away after like a year or two, and we didn't have work. And I was sitting in a Dupar's coffee shop at like 11:30 in the morning and trying to make my breakfast last as long as possible because I had nowhere to go.
Yep.
And I'm looking out at like Olympic Boulevard, and I've got the LA Times, and I'm petrified because cars are just whizzing by, and all I'm thinking about is...
That is a very familiar feeling.
Everybody else has a place to be, and I don't. And did this not work? And what if this doesn't work? The thing that occurred to me when I was going through that was, I don't care what happens to me. I just want it to be interesting. And I practically said it out loud to the point where the waitress was like, what do you want? Did you want hash browns? No. I said, whatever happens to me, I want it to be interesting.
You want some interesting hash browns?
You're not listening to me. Wait a minute. Tell me more of these interesting hash browns.
But that's a really like cinematic moment in the Dupar's. And I know that feeling. And especially when you're younger, if you're somebody who overthinks, like, should I do this job or not do this next job? And it was really bad when I was younger. It's like, but everybody knows I did Mean Girls, so I can't do The Class, which was a very short-lived sitcom I did, because she's sort of similar to the Mean Girls character. And my agent had to be like, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares. Nobody is tracking you in the way that you think they are.
That is a very important revelation that I had to have 55 times.
Yeah, you do.
Which is, I'm the king of the overthink, and all the best things in my life. I mean, that's not true. There's preparation, and there's hard work, and there's really trying to put a lot of thought into something. That's all valid. And then there are these moments where you just say, I don't know, I'm just going to go do that thing. Mm-hmm. And it's how this podcast happened. I mean, it was not me. It was Adam Sachs over there and a couple of other people saying, you should do a podcast. And me thinking, why would I do that?
Yep.
I have a television show. And I said it like a Ted Knight on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Why would I do that? I have a television. And the minute we started doing it, I was like, well, this is just fun.
Yeah.
This is just really fun. And in a greedy way, you came on my late night shows like 5 times or 6 times. You were on a number of times. And I always loved talking to you, but we never could have done this in that world.
Never.
And this is more meaningful to me.
Oh, totally. It's impossible to, I mean, those like the nightly talk shows are terrifying because you do, I mean, terrifying for me. I really go through quite some gastrointestinal Olympics beforehand.
Let's talk more about that.
Yeah, so what happens is...
the small intestine meets... Well, you'll see.
Do you want me to edit that out?
No. Okay. I want you to do that add on in the demon voice. Yeah. This is and I, in many ways, like I like what you were saying before about you have to kind of grow with the times and all of that. And I'm really bad at that. I am minutes away from being on a porch with a shotgun, like, get off my lawn. Like, I am a get off my lawn old person. I'm like 6 months away from that. And I think most of the internet stuff is horrible and I hate it. And I keep waiting for everybody to realize it was a bad idea and we should go back to how things were before.
Yeah.
But podcasts are like one of the only exceptions.
Right.
Because this is better. Like, why wouldn't you want to actually talk to a human?
Yeah, and do it in a way, I mean, obviously getting to the time that my wife and I and you and Tom, we got to hang out together and have dinner recently with our good friend, Amy Littman, Robin Flender. Shout out to them.
The best.
Because... if my friend Amy Littman finds out that I had a podcast with you,
I know, she'll be mad.
Her name did not come up, Amy Littman. Amy Littman.
I feel like we should talk about Amy Littman. She's great. She's a genius.
She was one of the main creative forces behind Masters of Sex.
Yes, that's where I met her. She wrote the episode that I'm the most proud of, Masters of Sex. That's episode called The Fight.
Oh, I know this one.
Yes, she's next level, Amy Littman.
Yeah. I've known her since my sophomore year of college.
That's crazy.
And she'll maybe get mad at me for telling this story, but I ran the Lampoon when I was there, the comedy magazine, and we were in this building, and we would have these crazy parties every couple of weeks. And I did not drink at all the whole time I was in college.
Oh boy.
And it was an organization pretty much of borderline alcoholics.
But why didn't you? Because you were focused on the...
Yeah, I was really, well, also I come from a family that just, there was a ingrained terror of alcoholism,
right,
which is earned in my family and any probably Irish Catholic family. The way that my people handled it going back several generations was no alcohol. Absolutely none. So I grew up in a completely dry house, never touched anything, and it never even occurred to me in college, like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I would be in charge of this place where people are drinking massive amounts of beer, wine, anything you can imagine, spirits, and then there's a nitrous tank somewhere, and I'm supposed to be in charge, but I'm...
Nitrous tank.
Yeah, I know, it was ridiculous.
I thought were the days.
Yeah, I was like, is someone going to do some welding? No, you idiot. We're going to suck on this until we almost die.
Oh, no.
But anyway, we'd have these parties, and this, it was hilarious because right across the street in Adam's house on the first floor in a window was a friend of mine who was there who would always call the cops because it was too loud because she was working on her writing. Oh. And so it was Amy.
Brother.
And
no,
yes,
Amy.
It was Amy.
She
would call the cops. Now listen, to be fair, it wasn't the Cambridge cops. It was the Harvard police, which is, and so they would just come by and they knew me. So like ding dong, and people would be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Soft Cell would be playing upstairs. Tainted love, and I said, bam, bam, get away, and I want to, bam, bam, get away. And ding dong, and I would go downstairs and open the door, and they'd be like, hey, Conan. I'd be like, hey, guys, too loud, huh? And he went, yeah, we got a call. All right, well, fellas, I'm really sorry. I'll make sure we turn it down. And then I would cross the street, and Amy would be there at her window, and it was so nice because it was nothing antagonistic about it at all. She'd be at her typewriter, working away, brilliant writer, even then, and I would walk up, and because her window was practically at face level, I would just walk up to the window and go like, hey, Amy, and she'd be like, hey, Conan, and I'd be like, too loud, huh? And she went, yeah, had to call. That's all right. Hey, what you working on? We would just sit there and chat.
Why didn't she call you? Why didn't she just come over and say, Conan?
Because she's not going to, she's working. And first of all, I'm actually on her side on this one.
I know, you clearly are. Well, I am not on the nerd side at all. I mean, nerd alert.
No.
Jeez.
She, there's no cell phones back then. And there's no calling the castle. That would be like, calling the Playboy Mansion during an orgy, No one's going to pick up the phone. Hey, Telly Savalas, put your pants on and go get the phone.
You got it, baby.
You got it, baby. Hey, Adrienne Barbeau, put on a bra and go get that phone.
Not one big enough.
I've tried 30 bras and they're all too small. I'm not getting that phone. So yeah, I'm on her side with this one. But anyway.
That's crazy.
It's a really funny story, but it was a little bit like there's that old cartoon, that old Warner Brothers cartoon of the sheepdog and the coyote who are...
Ralph and Sam.
Ralph and Sam, and they're arch enemies, but then the whistle blows. They're each trying to kill each other, and then there's a whistle blows, and they're like, that's it for the day, and they both check out. And that was Amy and I in college.
But did the other people who were having fun at the party...
we were going to get shut down anyway. Someone was going to call. It just always happened to be Amy.
Wow.
No,
this never ends with a lifelong friendship.
Get away, and I've got to.
That was probably the volume level too. And she's like, turn it down. I can almost hear it.
Did a part of you want the party to end too?
Sounds like
it kind of feels like you were hoping someone would call so that you can get back to work.
I think I called.
You know what? There's a good chance. There's a good chance it will later come out that I called Amy.
The call was coming from inside.
Can you call the Harvard cops? Can you please call the Harvard cops? If I hear soft sell one more time,
Conan,
I'm
working.
Gonna kill myself.
I'm trying to work. It doesn't bother me. I can't hear it.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind because your friends can't dance. And if I swear to God, that music. It's really hard to be romantic about that music now. Like if there's ever the Conan O'Brien story and they show a scene of a
oh my God.
I'll be played by Eddie Redmayne. And it's like me, 1983, the castle, the Harvard Lampoon castle in Cambridge. Bum, bum, get away, and I've got to.
I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
too.
The lowest grossing movie of all time.
I don't know. You're
Conan O'Brien
story.
Well, you did cast Eddie Redmayne as an 18-year-old boy. That was your first problem.
That guy could do it all.
He could do it. He could do it.
If anybody can do it, Redmayne. Also, usually the person who doesn't like experiment at all in high school, you in this story, goes crazy in college, but you kept it.
I did not.
You kept it tight.
Some would say I waited.
We're still
until
waiting.
I met you.
Yes, I'm
and the minute I met you, I was like, okay, I'm going to have 9 Guinness in this real pub.
Ye old.
It was ye old. I don't remember. Do you remember the name of the pub?
The something and the something, you know.
It's always the cribble and the jabble.
Yeah, the slies and the t-shirts.